Welcome to Spectrum News at 10, coming to you live from Uyo. I am Ofonono Joseph. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Tinubu approves scholarship scheme for Caribbean students to study in Nigeria. Sano threatens fresh action over withheld salaries. Plus, U.S. Senate holds marathon vote on Trump's Big Beautiful Bill. Stay tuned for details of these and more stories. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us on the news this morning. Our first report this morning is that President Tinubu has approved a new scholarship scheme for students from the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS, to study in Nigerian universities beginning from the next academic year. Speaking at a joint press conference in Gruzile yesterday alongside St. Lucian Prime Minister Philip Pierre. President Tinubu said the program has already commenced and would be implemented under a joint committee between Nigeria and OES member states. The initiative, he explained, is part of a broader framework to deepen cooperation in education, trade, and development. He also confirmed that discussions were underway on granting visa waivers to holders of diplomatic and official passports from OECS countries. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Pierre welcomed the scholarship scheme, describing it as a timely and practical expression of solidarity. He added that visa facilitation, air connectivity, and tourism were also prioritized during high-level discussions with President Tinubu. In the meantime, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has said that no Nigerian community was too small to enjoy the dividends of democracy. Tinubu said the inauguration of the newly constructed Giri District access roads was a testament to his administration's commitment to opening up rural communities. He praised the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, for making the Renewed Hope Agenda, RHA, meaningful to rural dwellers. The president, represented at the inauguration by the Speaker, House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas, said history will never forget Wike for taking governance closer to FCT residents. Away from that, the House Committee representatives of ad hoc staff on River State has issued a 48-hour ultimatum to the sole administrator of the state, retired Vice Admiral Ibogete Ibas, to submit a breakdown of major items in the 2025 1.48 trillion naira appropriation bill. The chairman of the committee, Julius Ihovere, APC Edo, issued the ultimatum at a budget defense session in Abuja. He said that the committee had gone through the budget as presented by the sole administrator and had raised several issues. According to him, the administrator should submit the Medium-Term Expenditure Framework (MTEF), which is a legal document that should precede budget presentation. Ihovere, who is the majority leader of the House, queried the allocation of 24 billion naira for CCTV cameras to be installed at the state government house, demanding the breakdown. He also queried the allocation of 30 billion naira for the purchase of gun boats and 23 billion naira earmarked for contingency reserves, requesting justification for the sum. The chairman said that the committee also observed and questioned the allocation of state funds to existing federal projects without agreement with the federal government, including refunds, among others. Earlier, Ibas, who was represented by the Senior Special Assistant on Strategy and Policy, Andrew Mweke, explained that the administration inherited many of the items in the budget. According to him, the budget was a reflection of the interest of Rivers people as it was designed in line with the needs assessment carried out by the implementation agencies. Mweke said that Rivers had a lot of peculiarities, saying that the 30 billion naira earmarked for gunboats was to support security agencies in their fight against insecurity on the waterways. In politics, the acting national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Omar Damagum, has declared that the party's National Executive Committee, NEC, has affirmed Samuel Anyanwu as the national secretary. Damagum spoke in Abuja after the NEC meeting, which was held at the party's headquarters. According to him, Anyanwu's affirmation was one of the key resolutions reached during the NEC meeting, which remains the party's highest decision-making body. Recall that the PDP had yesterday held its 100th National Executive Committee NEC meeting at its National Secretariat, Wadata Plaza, Abuja. After an earlier police siege at the venue, the meeting had in attendance members of the Board of Trustees, National Assembly members, governors, and other members of the NEC. In another development, the Senior Staff Association of Nigeria Universities, SANU, has asked the federal government to release the remaining 2 months withheld salaries of its members who participated in the 2022 strike. The union also decried the delay in salary payment to federal universities, often weeks after other federal workers have been paid. These were some of the issues discussed at the 51st National Executive Council meeting of SANU held in Kano State. In a communique issued at the end of its NEC meeting and signed by the national president of SANU, Mohammed Ibrahim, the union demanded the immediate harmonization of salary disbursement across all federal and state institutions to ensure fairness and equity. SANU also expressed disappointment over the continued silence and inaction of the federal government's renegotiation committee regarding the 2009 federal government and SANU agreement. It said the prolonged delay in commencing substantive discussions was unacceptable, demanding the immediate resumption and timely conclusion of the renegotiation process to address the long-standing concerns of its members to avert an industrial crisis in the university system. In a separate development, a Nigerian Aremu Adegboyega convicted by a secret court in Accra, Ghana for smuggling counterfeit CFA francs worth over $100,000 into the country through an unauthorized border route will be deported to Nigeria. Justice Christiana Khan, who presided over the case, ordered his immediate deportation by the Ghana Immigration Service. According to ASP Isaac Akwanda, Adegboyega was arrested in 2023 by customs officers stationed at the Aflak border while he was traveling on a motorcycle. The 55-year-old was charged with 2 counts of possessing forged notes in violation of Section 18 Sub 2 of Ghana's Currency Act 1964, Act 242, as well as 1 count of illegal entry into the country for possession of counterfeit CFA francs. The court fined the convict 250 penalty units, equivalent to 3,000 Ghanaian cedis. Now to Africa, where Madagascar's president, Andry Rajoelina, is in Paris for discussion with French President Emmanuel Macron on the future of the long disputed scattered islands. Reports say the five tiny islet with a total area of just 43 square kilometers in the Indian Ocean were part of Madagascar when it was a French colony. They were split off when the island nation gained independence in 1960, and Madagascar wants them back. According to the report, France is determined to maintain ownership of the uninhabited but strategic islands, which are protected ecological sanctuaries. Recall that United Nations votes in 1979 and 1980 agreed that the islands should be reintegrated into Madagascar. On the foreign scene, the US Senate has begun voting on a massive spending plan dubbed the Big Beautiful Bill after weeks of contentious negotiations. Republicans who control both chambers of Congress were divided over how much to cut welfare programs to extend tax breaks. Reports say President Donald Trump wants Congress to pass the bill by July 4, after the House of Representatives passed its version of the bill last month by a single vote. The legislation went to the Senate, and because of the changes made by the Senate, the bill will go back to the House for another vote. Still on the foreign scene, Thailand's constitutional court has suspended Prime Minister Patogantan Shinawatra, who has come under mounting pressure to resign over her leaked phone conversation with former Cambodian leader Hun Sen. The clip in which Pantogatan called him uncle and criticized a Thai military commander sparked public anger and a petition for her dismissal, which the court is now considering. Reports say the decision would make Pantogatan the third politician in the powerful Shinawatra clan, which has dominated Thai politics for the past 2 decades, to lose power before completing their term. The Constitutional Court voted 7-2 to suspend her while they consider the case for her dismissal, and she has 15 days to present her defense. In the meantime, Deputy Prime Minister Surya Jungugranki will serve as the country's acting leader. Still to come in the news. Thai Prime Minister suspended over leaked phone call. Stay tuned for details of this and more in a moment. Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. Now to the concluding part of our news stories. On our business news, the World Bank has reportedly approved an additional $65 million credit facility for Nigeria under the Sustainable Procurement Environmental and Social Standards Enhancement Project. This additional financing brings the total project's financing to $145 million. According to official records from the Washington-based lender, the approval was granted on June 24, 2025, ahead of the earlier projected timeline of June 30, 2025. The project status has since been updated to active, with the World Bank confirming that it has reached the bank-approved stage. The Specie project, which commenced in 2021 following an initial $80 million loan approved in February 2020, is aimed at strengthening Nigeria's procurement systems and enhancing compliance with environmental and social standards across the public and private sectors. Still in business, a committee comprising representatives of the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offenses Commission, and the Federal Ministry of Education has been set up to monitor the disbursement of student loans across the beneficiary institutions. This is as the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, in its latest data, revealed that over 38.2 billion naira has so far been released to 206 institutions in the form of institutional charges. According to the latest statistics from the fund, the institutional charges are separate from the monthly stipends paid to students, which currently stand at 34.8 billion naira. The Director of Corporate Communications of NERFund, Oshayemi Oluwatuyi, confirming the establishment of the committee, said it was to ensure transparency. In health, in a move to reduce maternal mortality rates in the country, a digital health solution, Bed Save Nigeria, is set to train 1,000 frontline nurses and midwives in 5 states on emergency obstetric skills to prevent potential loss of life during childbirth. Selected from Lagos, Kano, Rivers, Oyo State, and the FCT, the nurses and midwives would be trained in many programs. A health expert, Dr. Idara Omoite, noted that empowering the frontline health workers with advanced skills for rapid identification and management of obstetric emergencies would improve pregnancy and fertile outcomes for over 250,000 pregnant women. Recall that World Bank reports show that the rising poverty in Nigeria has worsened home deliveries, leading to an increase in maternal and child morbidity and mortality rates. Now to sports, where Brazilian club Fluminense defeated Inter Milan 2-0 in the Club World Cup round of 16 tie to reach the quarterfinal. Two goals from German Cano and Hercules gave Fluminense the victory against the Serie A side at the Bank of America Stadium. Fluminense will now face the winner between Manchester City and Al Hilal in the last 8. Still in sports, Saudi Arabian side Hilal sent English giant Manchester City crashing out of the Club World Cup yesterday, snatching a shock 4-3 victory in extra time in the biggest upset of the tournament so far. The match finished 2-2 at full time, but at the end of an eventful extra time, Marcos Leonardo grabbed the winner and pulled off one of the greatest wins in Middle Eastern football history. The Saudi club advanced to the quarterfinals, where they will face Brazilian club Fluminense, ensuring a non-European team will reach the last 4. On our entertainment news, controversial social media personality, Very Dark Man, stirred reactions online after describing Benue State as the most underdeveloped state he has ever visited. In a viral video shared after a recent visit to the state, the influencer claimed Benue is still in the year 1940. He laments the state of infrastructure and insecurity in the region, saying investors are discouraged from investing in the state due to deplorable road conditions and safety concerns. And that's all we have for you at this time. You have been watching Spectrum News at 10. My name is Ofonono Joseph. Thank you so much for staying with us. Happy New Month. Do enjoy the rest of your day.